You're looking for a list of 3D prints that actually sell today, not 2 years ago, not 5 years ago, but today. I have a list of 10 that you're going to find really useful, and a lot of these are very unique. So let's jump straight into the video. Now, before you say anything, this is the first listing, dragons. But I'm here to say you shouldn't do dragons because this niche is too saturated online. If you sell dragons, you're going to want to sell it at craft fairs, not online, because there's way too many listings. So now that we got the first one out of the way, let's get into the actual second listing, which is this upper succulent planter. Upper pronunciation.
Upper. You
took a 1 minute full video to say one word. Anyways, so this upper succulent planter, I know succulents are very popular and they figured out a way to make it unique, and it's kind of like in a niche of people that love Avatar, right? So it's a pretty cool listing. I really like this one. It's quite simple, has a function, and it looks good. So it's making 60 monthly sales. You know, the data isn't exact, but it's something, right? Total sales are showing as 752. Listing age is quite old. It's about 3-4 years old. But look at the amount of favorites, you know, 5,700. That's a lot of favorites. And it shows 8 views in the last 24 hours. So it's getting some activity there. And I like to look at this, how many reviews it has, and we'll see what people are actually saying in the reviews. And the cool thing is you can got some review photos. So you can take this idea of the succulent planter and obviously use it in different niches, different kind of TV series, different animes, anything that people enjoy, and you can make like a unique version of. You can do your own variation of that. So that's a really cool idea. All right, next up we have this product. It's called the Hero Tubby, and I looked into this and this is pretty cool. So basically it's like in the medical field, but basically it's a way to hold a bunch of different items and put it all into one kind of like area, right? So I think this is basically like a condition that you have trouble eating and drinking. So it's to do with like stomach kind of issues. But this basically allows you to, you know, hold all your gadgets together in a nice compact way. So this is a really cool listing. Obviously you can have different variations, you know, of different like, you know, medical conditions. If you have a bunch of items and equipment you need, you can make it all in one system. So this is a nice kind of need mixed with, you know, a really well done design, you know. And it's not just the 3D print, it's got like screws in there. I think this part is TPU. I saw in the description is PETG and TPU as well. You know, it has a nice tutorial video, which is pretty cool. They probably do some marketing on TikTok and stuff like that to get some views, and a bunch of different colors. So it's a really cool listing. It's about 2 years old, about 2,000 sales, 800 favorites, and you see good amount of reviews, almost 600. And you can see they have 678 views in total, and this has 600. So this is most of their sales and reviews, as you can see. So yeah, this is a really cool item. Obviously you can make variations based on, you know, different conditions. As I said, if you have something like that you're familiar with, maybe a family member or some friends, you can make something like that. Okay, next up, this one is pretty cool. So it's basically a rugged box. So it's like a card holder for this Monopoly Deal game. So maybe they have this game themselves and they always found that the cards were kind of like messing up. So they created a solution that fixes that issue, right? You know, they've made like a nice little box. It has a nice internal design. 600 sales. It's about 1.5 years old and 300 favorites. And yeah, really good reviews, 134 out of 360. So it's one of their main kind of sellers. And you know, people are loving the product, different colors, and really simple. You know, it gets the job done. You know exactly what it's for, you know what you're getting. Keeps the cards neat, great condition, all that good stuff. So you know, mine's instruction booklet. So people are playing this game a lot of times, very popular. So he's made an accessory for a popular game. So obviously you can do variations. I know this seller has like a few different variations. Monopoly Deal, Skip Bow, and Exploding Kittens card game. So, you know, same idea. They've already got the design. They can just, you know, rebrand it. So once the design's there, it makes things a lot easier. But yeah, I like the hinge kind of system to close the box. It's really good idea. And obviously tons of colors, good variations, secondary color option for the inserts and the hinges as well. So yeah, I really like this this listing. Okay, this next listing is an articulating desk mount for the Stream Deck Plus. So basically this is like a streaming kind of setup thing. Usually it goes on the desk or somewhere else on the side, and they figured out a nice solution to mount it underneath the table. So it's a really cool idea. Obviously you can do this for kind of like any popular products, but especially for streaming products, that makes a lot of sense. It kind of keeps things a little bit more clear, a little bit more organized, and the articulating function obviously is very cool to have for this kind of product, right? It's probably something they made for themselves, and then it's like somebody else really enjoyed it, so they went and made their product. So yeah, total sales 300 and a price tag of £42. It's about $55, I think. It's about 2 years old and really good reviews. So it's 100 out of 600, so it's one of their best sellers. And yeah, people obviously loving the design. And I think they made a different variation, or it's just colors. I think, yeah, they have other similar listings with like different variations. Use ABS plastic, which is good for strength and stuff like that. And yeah, got the pictures here as well. So it has function, very clean design, and it looks good. Okay, so this is the 6th 3D print that's actually making sales right now, and this is a cool Zen Garden. So basically like a desk toy, a sandbox, and it's in the shape of a mini turtle right here. So this has almost 1,000 sales. It's only 9 months old and over 8,000 favorites, you know. So this is a really cool listing. I've seen something similar. I think they had another listing for like a chicken Zen Garden. So they made this turtle design and it looks like it's really popular. You know, it's got 3 different sizes, got the lid to go on top so it doesn't get all messy and stuff like that. Different colors as well. And let's have a scroll down. Well, it's got 20 plus views in the last 24 hours, so you can see it's currently making sales. Even the reviews here, 27th of April, you know, it's pretty recent. 26th, 25th. And this has 260 reviews itself for the item and 1,300 reviews for the shop altogether. Obviously people are loving the design. They got pictures showing off their cool little like unique spin on it, right? You know, you can have your own color, your own kind of miniatures and stuff like that. It's a very cool idea, you know. So that could be a nice way to kind of add in some miniatures to sell. You know, I can put it into another listing. So yeah, I really like this one. It's pretty cool. People are loving this design. And obviously you can make different variations, different animals and stuff like that. You know, they've already got, like I said, the chicken version. They have this raccoon one and this bunny one as well. So it's really cool. I like this. So the 7th 3D print I have in this list is basically a German listing, but it's pretty much a door like wreath. So it's a family personalized kind of door hanger pretty much. So I seen this design, I was like, this is a very fresh design, and it had obviously a lot of sales, good, you know, views. It's about 3 years old, but yeah, it's like, just like a nice kind of simple way to show personalization and kind of like home decor. So obviously you can have all kinds of different like home decor items that you can personalize. So this is just an example of a door wreath. You know, they have tons of colors. It's all in German, of course, except for Mr. Green and a few. And 200 reviews. And the shop has a lot of kind of items and they're making a lot of sales, which is interesting. But yeah, people are loving this design, this listing. It's made out of PLA. And yeah, it's a pretty good listing, I'd say. 600 favorites. So you can do different variations, different home decor items that's personalized for like a family name and stuff like that. Now this 8th listing is probably my favorite one. So this is related to kind of something I like to do, which is working out stuff. So it's a personal kind of PR tracker for your best performance. And you know, as you can see, you got the weights, deadlift, bench, squat, and it personalizes with your name as well. So this is a nice kind of desk ornament that has meaning behind it, especially for your enthusiasts in the gym. And as you can see, it's got almost 200 sales. It is about 2 years old, but you know, still in 20 plus baskets. Now the price is pretty high, you know, £67, which is about $80-ish. And you can add a few different variations. So this is the standard, and then it got competition stuff. So I think it has different kind of colors or wording on the weights. And yeah, it's a nice kind of good size, a nice desk toy. So yeah, I think you got the competition ones are the colors, and standard are these black weights. So yeah, this is a really cool idea. And yeah, you got logo 1, logo 2, and as you can see, it's got 68 reviews and the total shop has 89 reviews. So this is like the best selling item, and you know, people are loving it. 5 stars, great gift, all that good stuff. And it does ship from Austria, but people are still ordering it, so they're doing well. Made out of PLA, so it's 12 centimeters, it's about half a regular build plate, I guess. And yeah, this is a nice listing. I like this one. And there's different ideas, you know, it's not just weights that you can have, like, you know, personal best in, like any kind of sport. I thought about like running. I had an idea of like skiing, where you could like have different routes that they've skied. You can do like rock climbing as well, like different like, you know, the ranks for rock climbing. You have like the V5 or whatever like that. And yeah, like swimming could be a pretty good one, like maybe a personal best for your swimming thing. But yeah, like you can have so many different variations for something like this, just sport related PRs and stuff like that. And now this 9th listing, as you can see, it's like a comedic kind of gag, truck nuts. So yeah, it's kind of in the name. It's a nice little funny gag. But yeah, it's doing decently well, you know, 14 views in the last 24 hours, 200 total sales. Now it is about 3 years old, so it's not making as many sales as some of the other listings, but I thought it was like a nice kind of a unique listing to have down on here. Obviously it's like a funny gag, so you can take that kind of same comedic thing and apply it to a niche that you're familiar with. Obviously this guy has this truck, you know, you could have different, you know, kind of funny gags in different hobbies and interests. Yeah, it's got a good amount of reviews, 62 out of 76 for the total. So it's their bestseller. People are loving it. You know, it's obviously a fun thing to have, you know, so make it for a good gift or just for someone to buy for themselves. And yeah, you got the photos of course. So yeah, I did see a few listings for this when I searched up on Etsy, so it's a bit saturated for this specifically, but you know, you can make different variations of like just funny gags, you know, in a different niche for sure. And this is another favorite of mine. So this is the 10th listing, and this is the Deadpool and Wolverine premium ducks. Obviously Deadpool and Wolverine, the movie came out, very popular, so they made a version of the ducks, and for the actual shop itself they have like tons of characters. So as you can see, they have like the cow version, Coast Guard, you know, Sally and Jack, Beetle Duck, Guardian of the Galaxy. So they basically created like a whole niche, just making ducks, but from characters that we're familiar with. So for this one specifically, this is one of their best sellers, you know, over 1,000 total sales. It's only 7 months old, and you know, doing very well. As you can see, it's got about 400 reviews, and yeah, people are like loving this. Really good gift for people. And obviously the amount of material that you're using versus, you know, how much you're selling it for. You're selling like packs and stuff. This is probably like, how many grams? Small ones probably like, you know, 15-20 grams. Large ones probably about 50-60, you know, making a pretty good margin, especially for like, let's say one large Deadpool, about 200 grams, or sorry, probably about 100 grams, that looks like, depends on the info. Yeah, that would only cost you about $2-3, and you're selling it for about 25. So once you got the shipping done, pretty good margins on that. It doesn't deliver to the UK, so that's an interesting one. But yeah, you can do variations, like you can do different animals and do characters of that. So you could have like a bear, you could have cats, you could have dogs, anything like that. So it's a pretty cool idea, you know. Obviously you can, if you have the design skills, you can do your variations and do something similar to that. So yeah, that's the full list of 10 3D prints that are selling right now using Etsy data. So hopefully you found this useful, and yeah, definitely subscribe, like the video and all that good stuff, and comment down below if you know you have any of your own ideas for 3D prints that you want to sell.